Hey everyone, welcome back. You ready to dive deep into one of the most iconic animals of the American Southwest?
I'm ready.
Yeah, so today it's all about the desert bighorn sheep.
Right.
We've got this fascinating excerpt about bighorn sheep focusing specifically on those here in Arizona.
Cool.
Really going to explore what makes them so remarkable, from how they navigate these crazy cliffs to how they survive in like one of the most extreme environments on Earth. It's gonna be good.
Yeah, and they're just so cool to look at, too.
Right. They're beautiful animals. Okay, well, let's just jump right in.
Yeah, sounds good.
So first off, these sheep are basically like expert rock climbers,
Right.
right?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you
Yeah.
see them scaling these sheer cliffs like it's nothing.
Yeah, and it's incredible, right? Like if I was up on a cliff face like that, I would be absolutely terrified. I'd be clinging on for dear life.
Right. I don't think I could even, stand up straight.
No, me neither.
But these guys, they're just, bounding around, jumping from ledge to ledge. It's wild.
Yeah. But how do they do that? I mean, is it all in the hooves?
Yeah, their hooves are definitely a big part of it. They've got this really unique structure.
Okay.
So, the outer edge is super hard, almost like a rock climbing shoe,
Yep.
gives them that grip.
Ah, I see. So that's how they get that like solid hold on the rock.
Exactly. But
Yeah.
then the center is kind of soft and spongy, which gives them amazing traction on all those uneven surfaces.
Okay, so it's like a combination of like grip and then being able to kind of like mold to the rock as well.
Yeah, exactly. It's like a natural climbing shoe.
Wow.
And this isn't just some cool trick they can do. It's absolutely essential to their survival.
Right. I mean, I guess it's how they like reach those hard to get food sources, right?
Yeah, exactly. And it also helps them escape from predators, mountain lions, bobcats, things like that.
Oh yeah, because I guess they can get to places where those predators can't, right?
Right. It's like their own little escape route built into the landscape. And it's not just like a little scramble up a rocky hill. We're talking serious cliffs here.
Oh yeah, sheer cliff faces, narrow ledges, the
Yeah.
kind of terrain that would have me reaching for ropes and a helmet.
Exactly. But for these guys, it's just another day in the neighborhood.
They're practically like the Spider-Man of the animal kingdom.
Pretty much.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of survival, we talked about the terrain, but then there's the Arizona desert itself.
Yeah. Talk about a challenge.
It's brutal,
Yeah.
right? I mean, the scorching sun, lack of water. How do these animals not just survive, but actually thrive in that kind of environment?
Right. It's truly incredible. I mean, they've adapted in some seriously impressive ways. Think about this desert bighorn sheep can go days without even a sip of water.
Wait, days. Seriously.
Absolutely. They've evolved to get most of their moisture from the plants they eat, which is pretty amazing in itself.
It is really incredible.
Yeah, it's like they're squeezing every bit of moisture they can from their food.
So they're like super efficient with their water intake, but what about when they do actually find a source of water? I imagine they just like guzzle it down, right?
Oh, you better believe it. When they come across a watering hole, they can drink up to 20% of their body weight in a single sitting.
Wow, that's a lot of water. I mean, that would be like me chugging gallons at once. I think I'd get a stitch.
Right.
But it's not just about finding water, it's about conserving it too, right?
Right, and that's where their super-powered kidneys come in. They're able to produce incredibly concentrated urine.
Okay.
So basically, they're losing as little water as possible when they go to the bathroom, and their entire system is designed to minimize water loss, even when they breathe or sweat. It's pretty remarkable.
They've got it all figured out.
They do. It's like they're walking, breathing examples of how to survive in the harshest conditions.
Yeah, they've definitely mastered desert living. So we've talked about their impressive climbing skills and their water-saving superpowers. Let's talk a bit about their social lives. What's the bighorn sheep herd like?
Well, they're very social animals. They live in these herds, but with a really interesting structure.
Okay.
You'll typically see the ewes, the lambs, and the younger rams all hanging out together.
Oh, that's cute, like a big happy family.
Exactly.
Okay, so where do the older rams fit in?
The adult rams, they form their own separate groups, kind of like a bighorn sheep bachelor party.
That's funny.
But there's actually a good reason for this separation, and it all comes down to something called the rut.
The rut.
Yeah, it's their mating season.
Ah, okay, so that's when things get a little competitive, I imagine.
Yeah, you could say that. During the rut, the rams will go head to head, literally in these epic clashes to establish dominance.
Okay, so we're talking like full-on headbutting contests here.
Oh yeah, we're talking collisions at speeds up to 20 miles an hour.
Oh, wow, that's got to hurt. I mean, why do they do that?
It's all about proving their strength and winning the right to mate with the ewes. It's their way of ensuring that the strongest genes get passed on to the next generation.
So it's brutal, but it's also, like, essential for their survival as a species, right?
Right, exactly. And, even though we're talking about these intense headbutting contests, remember those separate herds?
Right.
That's actually a form of cooperation. The ewes and lambs rely on the protection of the group, especially from predators. So you've got this balance of fierce competition and teamwork that really makes their survival strategy work.
It's fascinating how, like, both those things are essential.
Absolutely.
Well, our source mentions that the desert bighorn sheep were actually once really close to disappearing, that they almost went extinct.
Yeah, that's a dark chapter in their story for sure. And it really highlights how much of an impact we humans can have on wildlife.
So what led to that decline? Was it a combination of factors?
Yeah, it was a perfect storm of like overhunting, habitat loss due to development, and then on top of that, diseases spread from domestic livestock. By the mid 20th century, things were looking really grim for them.
It's heartbreaking to think about. But there is good news, right? They made a comeback.
Yes, there is. Thankfully, some incredibly dedicated conservationists and organizations like the Arizona Game and Fish Department really stepped in to help.
Okay.
They established protected areas for the sheep to live safely. They set up these reintroduction programs to help repopulate areas where the numbers had dwindled. And, all that hard work paid off. It really shows that when we put our minds to it and work together, we can make a real difference in protecting these incredible creatures.
It's a really inspiring story of conservation success.
It is.
So to wrap up, I mean, we've learned that desert bighorn sheep are not only beautiful and these incredible athletes, but they're incredibly resilient as well.
Yeah.
They've mastered desert survival. Their social dynamics are super interesting, and their comeback story is truly inspirational.
Yeah, it's amazing, right? I mean, they face all these incredible challenges, the terrain, the heat, the lack of water, predators,
Right.
but they just find a way to not just survive, but thrive.
Yeah.
I think it makes you wonder, what challenges are we facing as humans that might seem impossible? And what can we learn from the bighorn sheep's resilience and how they've adapted?
Hmm.
Maybe they can teach us a thing or two about how to overcome those challenges and create a better future.
That's a great point. And for all of you listening, if you ever get the chance to see these amazing creatures in the wild, do it. It's truly an unforgettable experience.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Yeah, thanks for listening.
We'll see you next time.